Good morning, kids. Today we're checking out a brand new video from Connie X about what if the Digimon Frontier swapped spirits. Now, if you don't know what Digimon Frontier is, that would make sense. It was kind of the lesser known series. Is that instead of having like actual Digimon partners, there was a new gimmick called Spirit Evolution, to where, well, you could turn into a Digimon human hybrid, and well, as the human form. But then there was also the beast form. Anyway, let's hop in and see what Khan was able to get custom art for this time.
We've swapped Digimon seasons before the easier seasons, let's be honest. And I've gone back and forth on how I would do this many times over the past couple of years, but I think on today's video it's finally time that we swapped the Digimon Frontier spirits.
Let's do this. 3, 2, go.
And hey, if you're looking to make a swap in your life, I'm so good at segues, you guys. You might want to consider today's sponsor, HelloFresh. Whether you're trying to save...
Yeah, we're going to take a quick cut, and we're back. Let's go.
The Digimon Frontier spirits, and of course I have to acknowledge that the spirits are sort of visually locked in, unlike the Armor Digi-Eggs, where there's a little bit of room to play with. But then looking at the Armor Digi-Eggs, for example, Courage, not all Courage armors look like Flame Dramon. We have tried to fix that in our Armor Fixings video, but technically, as is Digimon canon, not all Courage Armor Digivolutions look like the Courage Armor Digi-Eggs. So theoretically, if another child used a Frontier spirit, it might yield a different Digimon. Maybe. This is obviously just a little bit of fun, right? My thought process is that if you think about it on a metatextual level, if you look at the actual creators of Frontier, not the in-law canon of Frontier, the reason that something like Chakmon is much smaller than the other human spirits is because it is the small Tommy that accesses the ice spirits. The reason that JP becomes Beetlemon is he's a kind of chubby wannabe hero kid who gets to actually become a Kamen Rider that he'd always wanted to be. The physicality and wants of these kids is reflected in the Digimon they become, even if that is not show canon but more creator canon. Koji and Koichi being twin brothers is why their spirits take on wolf or bestial forms, like the twin wolves Romulus and Remus, and Zoe is a girl, so girls. So yes, well obviously the spirits resemble the Digimon they unlock. What if they look different due to a spirit swap, unlocking visually connected Digimon forms with swapped elements and attributes? I'm also going to be using existing Digimon here. This video would take at least 18 pieces of custom art, and even a sponsor budget isn't going to cover that for this video. I want to see how well this one does, and then maybe we'll revisit it with custom art. And with the Digimon I'm picking, I'm going to try and keep...
So, no custom art, but still, we're going to get it.
The power levels similar to what I think the spirits would be, but as spirits are their own category, similar to armors, I think for example, a Mega Digimon works as a hybrid spirit, I'm going to use it. If an ultimate level Digimon works as a human spirit, I'm just going to use it. And I'm going to be doing human beast infusions for all of these. I'm not sure if Kaiser Greymon, Magna Garurumon, and Sasanimon would change or not, but you can battle me that in the comments below. Alright, we're going to begin by swapping two very...
Probably not, would be my opinion, considering that they are meant to be, you know, like, the top of the top.
Linked elements, fire and ice, aka Takuya and Tommy. For me, I think the traits of the fire spirit are the traits of fire, a protagonist feeling, you can see this in Agunimon in particular, and a Greymon feel, at least somewhat. Obviously the ancient warrior for the spirit of fire is Greymon, and for the traits of ice, we want to see ice, fur, a Viking-like vibe, similar to things like Vikemon, obviously coming from ancient Megatheriumon, but also Kurikakumon, that is Tommy's beast spirit, and if I'm transplanting the traits of Tommy onto a fire Digimon, I want something more diminutive like Tommy's Chakmon. So for Takuya's human ice spirit, I think Frigimon's a pretty fun pick. It's a tall, humanoid-ish ice Digimon, and Frigimon and Chakmon are often kind of in the same wheelhouse in Digimon media. Also, when you look at the official art of Frigimon next to Agunimon, there is something kind of similar about them. They're posing, the way they're manifesting their powers, and indeed similar to Meramon. I wonder if Agunimon is somewhat inspired by Meramon. Though another human ice spirit you could really go for with Takuya is Sorcerymon. Though I do think Sorcerymon is a little bit too short feeling. However, it's very human feeling. It is ice-based, and yeah, it looks really good. I'm personally sliding towards Frigimon, but I can definitely make a case for Sorcerymon. As for Takuya's beast spirit, I think Chris Paledramon could work nicely. Not 100% connected to ancient Megatheriumon, but then neither is Daipenmon, you know? I think that's a good connection, I like it, and if we're kind of fusing some elements here, maybe the more draconic nature of Takuya could come from ancient Greymon, but also maybe just Takuya's personality, so I like Chris Paledramon, which would lead us nicely, whether our human spirit of ice is Frigimon or Sorcerymon, Sorcerymon, kind of blending the two into either Hexablaumon or Vikemon. My money's on Hexablaumon here. I think it would be a great hybrid ice spirit. But Vikemon, again, yeah, I know it's a mega level, but the levels of the hybrids are all over the place. But I think if you compare Hexablaumon, Crispaeldramon, and Frigimon to Aldamon, Vitramon, and Agunimon, you can kind of see how this lines up really nicely. Moving over to Tommy, like I said, for him to have a Spirit of Flame, I wanted him to get a diminutive form for his human spirit, which is kind of why I do think, funnily enough, Flare Wizardmon would work pretty well for Tommy. It being a courage armor does connect to flame, and if we did give Takoya Sorcerymon and Flare Wizardmon being connected would be nice. Yeah, this is why I didn't want to give Sorcerymon to Takoya, because I do think Flare Wizardmon feels a little bit shorter than Frigimon. Meramon would be another solid choice, but again, I think is a little bit too tall for Tommy. And an outlier pick, I think, is Barrowmon if you don't want to double up on wizards. Barrowmon being another courage armor Digimon and feeling a little bit short.
Here's what I have to say. You can never double up on anything. No, you can never not double up on everything. You know, I don't know what I'm trying to say. If you want two wizards, have two wizards.
But still humanoid. However, I'm going to go with Flare Wizardmon in this instance. For Tommy's Beast Flame, I'm going to go with Hellugamon. It's a big, beastly, fiery Digimon, and it feels similar to me, at least in proportions, to Korikakumon's. That's why I quite like it. And then ending on Tommy's hybrid Flame Spirit, well, it would be funny to finally use Apollomon, given that the similarities between Apollomon and Agunimon's line are so talked about in Digimon fandom. However, if we're going for something with a little bit more bulk, kind of like the proportions of Daipenmon, kind of. You could go with Voltramon. Okay, I got to admit that is a bit of a stretch. The Hellugamon combined with Flare Wizardmon, I can see becoming Voltramon, and it would tie in to the draconic side of the Spirit of Flame, the Ancient Greymon connection, and again, this kind of big bulbous body that Voltramon has feels not similar to Daipenmon necessarily, but it's a reach. I'll admit it's a reach. Let me know your...
Yeah, sometimes you have to reach. We'll be right back. And we're back. Let's continue.
Your suggestions in the comments below. Alright, then we are swapping the two twin boys, Koji and Koichi. The traits of the light spirit are wolves, lightsabers, and blades, and the traits of the darkness spirit, the non-corrupted darkness spirit, is lions, Egypt, and darkness. And the corrupted side is more so like, I guess there might be an Egyptian connection, but just darkness in general, eyes. And there is a Norse connection between the two of them too. In general, I think their major overarching themes are mythology and very humanoid human forms. And maybe if they swap spirits, they might just get the exact same forms, but that's not as fun, is it? So let's act like they wouldn't. For Koji's darkness human spirit, I'm gonna give him Cerberusmon werewolf mode, bringing it all around with the Cerberusmon that kicked off Frontier in many ways, but making it the human spirit. I know it's an ultimate level, but it resembles a champion a lot in my opinion, and it being dog-like, Cerberus-like is really close to the wolf motif of light, so I think would work well for Koji's darkness human spirit. And again, I'm not too concerned about levels in this video. I'm looking more for visual connection than I am for level connection, because Spirit Digimon are already kind of acting outside of the normal level scale anyway. And then for his Darkness Beast, I would literally give Koji normal Cerberusmon. It's a literal slide evolution, a mode change of Cerberusmon werewolf mode, just like human and beast spirits are. Nice! I'm also not going to get to use Splashmon in this video. I really tried really hard, but nothing really worked. Splashmon and Splashmon Darkness mode is a similar example of how I would have used an existing Digimon as a human and beast spirit. So I had to use Cerberusmon and Cerberusmon werewolf mode here. And then for the Darkness Hybrid, Anubismon is a very common Cerberusmon Evo, and I think that would work very well. With Ancient Sphinxmon being the ancient Digimon tied to the Spirit of Darkness, Anubismon being another Egyptian kind of darkness themed Digimon would work. And yeah, it's a mega, but you know the drill by now. For Koichi's light human, this was a little bit more difficult. I was tempted by Leomon. I mean, of course I was. And I would actually really like to just use regular Leomon here. I think that would be fine for a light spirit. But another pick that's pretty good too is Philmon. It's light colored and it's beastly, but with much more humanoid proportions, and it's standing on two legs, and has a potential to fall to darkness with its evolution line, so that works pretty okay for me. As for Koichi's light beast spirit, Gargoylemon is pretty beastly too. Well, yeah, still a little bit more humanoid feeling, and it's a Digi-Egg of light armor, so I like that being a light spirit. And it's got wings, like Koichi's corrupted beast spirit, Velgamon, and it's sort of gangly like it too. It doesn't match up great with Jaeger-Loemon, I must admit, but I'm okay with that. Leomon/Philmon for the human spirit and Gargoylemon for the beast spirit. Zoe proves that your human and beast spirits don't have to be that fundamentally different anyway. And for Koichi's hybrid light spirit, maybe Dynasmon might work. It's a winged being of light, which would kind of build on Gargoylemon and Philmon or Leomon. I just like it having more light colored armor. I think that works quite well, especially in comparison to the normal darkness and light spirits. But then interestingly, this would mean if the character arcs remained the same, the Koichi would have a corrupted light spirit, which which I guess is a darkness spirit. However, if he were to get corrupted light, which again I think is a pretty good thematic idea, it's very Kingdom Hearts, his corrupted light human spirit could be Mad Leomon. It's a corrupted Leomon, literally turned from light to dark. So if we gave him a regular Leomon, or even a Philmon, as his human spirit, a Mad Leomon as his corrupted human spirit, works great in my opinion. And then his
if he's gonna have a Mad Leomon, he has to have Leomon. It's just how it's gonna be.
Corrupted light beast could be Calismon. I mean, honestly, just any excuse to use Calismon now that we've got good art of it. But also, it's even more beastly looking than Mad Leomon. It's more dumpy in its proportions, and probably gets its name from Callisto, a nymph in Greek mythology, but also the name of a moon of Jupiter, a light, heavenly body in the stars. Very appropriate for a corrupted light spirit.
That's good. Oop, hold on, we'll be right back. And we're back with the last duo, Wind and Thunder.
We're going to end on Zoe and JP. Zoe has, of course, the spirit of wind. JP has the spirit of thunder. The traits of the spirit of wind seem to be different uses of wind. Birds that fly on the wind. Fairies that flutter on by. Planes and pinwheels. So overall use of the wind, flight, and avian elements, as well as some humanity in there. And the traits of thunder are thunder, electricity, a humanoid kind of Kamen Rider feel, and beetles/bugs. It's mainly beetles, but we're going to extend the theme to bugs. So for Zoe's thunder human form, I am going to give her the Eosmon adult. It literally has an attack called Bolt Rip and an overall electrical themed moveset. Eos is also a titaness and goddess, personification of the dawn. So I think that ties in pretty nicely into the fact that Zoe originally was aligned with ancient Irismon, as Iris was the goddess of rainbows in the same mythology. Her beast spirit is trickier. We could go with Ballistamon. I mean, it would kind of tie into JP's theme a little bit, which is nice, I admit, though not super beastly. But there could be a girl under there, you know, or maybe we could use Clymon, because the hybrid will be Shivamon, of course. Keeping our mythology basis going, but this time pivoting to Hinduism. And Shivamon feels kind of feminine, I guess. Admittedly, Shiva the god is usually depicted as a male, however, in pop culture, like Final Fantasy, Shiva is depicted as a female, so I guess I'm drawing on that. And also the male thunder spirit being used by a girl kind of does blend the genders a bit, right? And of course, Shivamon, the Digimon, is very bug-themed and is intrinsically linked to electricity, being an Impulsity evolution for our boy Pulsemon. Rest in peace, little buddy, we hardly knew ye. And finally, JP, probably the one that I'm most happy with this entire video. I have been wanting to make this connection for a while. If you look at JP and the Thunder Spirit becoming Beetlemon, JP and the Wind Human Spirit, in my mind, especially as we have given Tinkermon to Zoe for her rookie spirit form, it would be amazing to give JP the Wind Human Spirit form of Petermon. I think this lines up so nicely. Visually it works, he flies, he's humanoid, there's a connection to Tinkermon, which is a very popular Hazemon Prevo, so happy with that. The Wind Beast then could be Tempomon, again forming more of a connection. We've used some Impulse City Pulsemon evolutions for Zoe, and now we're going to use one for JP. The dancing penguin in a hoodie just feels so on brand for JP, and being a bird, admittedly based on more of a flightless bird, would be great for JP. It would be a really good comedic vibe. And that would then mean that his hybrid spirit to echo Jet Sylphimon, which gets its name from Sylphimon, which digivolves into, that's right, Valkyrymon. JP's Thunder hybrid spirit is gonna be Valkyrymon. Alright, so that is it. My ideas for what it might look like if the Digimon Frontier kids swapped spirits. Takoya with the ice spirits getting Frigimon or Sorcerymon, Chris Paildramon and Hexablaumon or Vikemon, Tommy with the human spirit of flame getting Flare Wizardmon or Barrowmon, Helugamon and Apollomon or Voltramon, Koji with the spirit of darkness getting Cerberusmon Werewolf mode, regular Cerberusmon and Anubismon, Koichi with the spirit of light getting Leomon or Philmon, Gargoylemon, Dynasmon, and with the corrupted light spirits Mad Leomon and Calismon, Zoe with the thunder spirits getting the Eosmon adults, Atla Ballistamon or Clymon and Shivamon, and finally JP with the spirit of wind getting Petermon, Tempomon and Valkyrymon. These of course are just silly little ideas, not objective, and obviously there's probably gaps, but I've really dug through so many Digimon trying to find things that line up for this, so I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your ideas in the comments down below, and if this video does do well, I would definitely consider doing this as a custom art video. I just wasn't confident it would perform well enough to be a custom art video, but we shall see. And if you want to help with that, you can go over to patreon.com/CarnEX, like my Sovereign, ZDK14.
Well, everyone, that's going to be the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link to the original will be in the description below, and I'll see all you folks next time when we flick on. Peace out.